Hello students. So in the last lecture we discussed about the basics related to structural steel and what is structural steel, how it is useful or how it is beneficial than RCC structures. From today onwards we will be starting with our main portion and the first chapter, that is connections, and in that also we will be specifically starting with bolted connections. Now today's lecture is very important regarding your GTU Sem 5 syllabus, because these topics that we will be discussing today will be covering in almost about 3 to 4 chapters. So starting with the thing, that is what is bolted connections. So bolted connections, there are basically divided into two parts depending upon the grade of the bolts, and keep in mind we are not using the standard bolts that you see in the normal scenarios that you use in household works. These are structural bolts of high strength. Clear? So basically the grades of bolt can be divided into two parts, that is first one is the class 4.6 bolts. Class 4.6 bolts, or they are also known or called ordinary bolts or bearing bolts. So if in the question it is asked that it is a class 4.6 bolts, then it is the same. It can also be asked in question that it is solve the sum using ordinary bolts or bearing type bolts. These are the same things, and for that we will be referring to two strengths, that is Fu and Fy. In RCC, if you remember, we were discussing only about one strength, and that was Fy. Clear? That was pertaining to our steel bars. We used two categories of steel bars, that is mild steel Fe250 and our HYSG steel, that was Fe415, but that was circular round bars. Now we are talking about the whole section being of steel. Generally mild steel is preferred in the sections that we will be using with the various different shapes, but we will be using two strengths regarding it. The first will be Fu, and also known as the ultimate stress or ultimate strength, and the second will be Fy, that is the yield strength or yield stress. So in RCC portion we were only dealing with the yield strength portion, and in the steels portion we will be dealing with yield strength also, and also will be discussing with ultimate strength. Now how to remember these cases, that how these equations or these values came. So the nomenclature or the grade name is given specifically as class 4.6, and there is a reason behind it. The 4 that is being seen in the first case is the Fu or ultimate strength. So if you see that class 4.6 is given, that means the number 4 is given, then the ultimate strength will be 400 Newton per mm square. Clear? This is how you will be remembering in your examination while solving numericals. So for 4.6, the 4 refers to 400 Newton per mm square, and 0.6 refers to 60% of the total. Clear? Again, class 4.6, that means 4 is the whole number, that will be referring to 400 Newton per mm square, and 0.6 that will be referring to the 60% criteria. So Fy will be 0.6, that means 60% of 400. So that value comes out to be 240 Newton per mm square. This is how you will be remembering in your examination point of view. This was the first grade of bolts that are being used. These are class 4.6, or you can say ordinary bolts, or you can say bearing type bolts. The second category are class 8.8. These are of higher strength, used to resist heavier loads as compared to normal structures. So again the nomenclature is same. The first number, that is 8, will be representing the ultimate stress, that is 800 Newton per mm square, and the second portion, that is 0.8, will be 80% of 800, that comes out to be 640 Newton per mm square. So this is how you will be remembering the Fu and Fy of a specific grade of bolt, and it is known as HSFG bolts. The full form is high strength friction grip. Clear? High strength friction grip bolts. That bolts we'll be discussing later on in the numericals that we will be covering. So these were basically the grades of bolts used comparative to the strength. Now according to the diameter. According to the diameter of bolts, it are classified in basically these types that will be dealing with the numerical portion. The first is M16, M18, M20, 22, M24 and M30 bolts. Here M is not the concrete strength. You have seen in RC portion that if M20 was given, it meant FCK was 20 Newton per mm square. But here it is referred to the diameter of the bolts. Clear? So if M20 bolts are being prescribed in question, that means the diameter of bolt is given as 20 mm diameter. So this will be the according to the diameters. Now type of joints, how the bolts are connected or how the plates are connected by using bolts. There are basically two methods that will be following. The first is a lap joint. So this figure represents lap joint. Lap, that means overlap. If two plates are being overlapped, in this case as we see in the figure, two plates are being overlapped, the portion that is overlapped is connected by using bolts. So this method is known as lap joint, or you can say overlapping joints. Clear? Here the circle that you see here represents the bolts in the plan, and this is the sectional view. So the above portion is the plan and the below portion is the sectional view of it. Now basically we will be needing to remember the dimensions or how to calculate the distances. So if I see this distance, that is the center of the bolt to the center of the next consecutive bolt, that is the center to center distance between two bolts, it is known as pitch. It is known as pitch of bolt. And the next distance you need to remember is E, that is either edge distance or end distance. Edge distance or end distance, and that will be distance from the center of the bolt to the end of plate, distance from the center of bolt to the end of plate in any of the cases, from left hand side or right hand side, both are called E. And also the distance of bolt to the edge of plate, so it is known as edge distance or end distance. Both the distances will be same. How to calculate it, we will be looking in the next slides. Okay, so this is a bolted connection. The first here is single bolted lap joint. That means the bolts are placed in just one line. It is known as single bolted lap joint. If two lines of bolts are being used, these are called double bolted lap joint. In our syllabus, we will basically deal with this single bolted lap joints only. Clear? So this was the first type, that is lap joint. The second type that we will be discussing is the butt joint. Now what is the main difference between a lap joint and a butt joint? In lap joint, two plates are being overlapped over each other, and the portion that was overlapped was connected via using bolts. In this case, two plates are kept side by side. These are the two main plates that are to be connected or joined. So these two plates, that is plate number 1 and plate number 2, are being kept side by side. So in this case, we can't insert bolt horizontally like this. So what we are doing, we are putting or we are placing another plate above it. Clear? And it is termed as cover plate. So here cover plates or additional plates are used to connect our two main plates that are placed side by side. So how to differentiate it again? Lap joint means if two plates are connected by lapping each other, they are called lap joint. And butt joint will be by keeping the plates side by side and using an additional cover plate to connect the plates. So here, as you can see, a cover plate is being used and bolts are being placed in both the plates with respect to our cover plate to connect it. Clear? If the cover plate is used only in one direction or only on one side, that is either on the top side or on the bottom side, these are called single cover, single bolted butt joint. But if the cover plates are used in both directions, that means on top side also and bottom side also, then they are called double cover butt joint. The single bolted and double bolted we will not be seeing in this semester. We will be just referring it as single cover butt joint and double cover butt joint. Clear? But the basic difference is the covers. If cover is provided only on one side, it is called single cover joint or single cover butt joint. If the covers are provided on both the directions, that is on top side and bottom side, they are called double cover butt joints. So moving on to the first sum, we will be seeing in deep about what are the clauses we will be using, what are the page numbers and what are the equations we will be using. So this is our first sum. Here it is said that two plates 80 mm wide. Two plates we are using, both are of same width, that is 80 mm, and 12 and 20 mm thick. That means thickness of plate is given as 12 and 20 mm. The thickness of first plate is 12 mm and the thickness of second plate is 20 mm. Are connected by using lap joint. So a lap joint is used to resist a design tensile load of 70 kilonewton. Now keep in mind again, we were referring in RCC portion, the same things we will be referring in the steel portion also. The load criteria. If just load was given as tensile load of 70 kilonewton, we will be multiplying it by factor of safety, that is 1.5. Clear? Here it is mentioned as design tensile load. So 1.5 will not be multiplied in this case. So our total load will be directly 70 kilonewton. Design a lap joint using M16 bolts. Here M16 bolts are given, that means the diameter of bolt to be used is 16 mm of grade 4.6. The grade of bolt is given as 4.6 or ordinary bolts. That means the FU of bolt will be 400 Newton per mm square and Fy will be 240 Newton per mm square. But we will rarely be using Fy, we will just be focusing on Fu in our equations. And the grade of plates is given as 410. Here keep in mind, we are dealing with two different constituents of steel. The main constituent or the main material is our plate, that is of some other property, and the second will be our bolt. Bolt is also made of steel. Yeah, so the property of steel in bolt will be different and the property of steel in plate will be different. So here the Fu of plate is given as 410. Clear? We will always be taking Fu of plate to be 410 in the entire semester. And here being 4.6 grade, this is for bolt. So for bolt Fu will be 400 and for plate Fu will be 410. So do not get confused in this, whether we are dealing with plate or whether we are dealing with bolt. Keep in mind what equations you are inputting and what cases we will be referring. So starting with the answer, the first thing will be to find the diameter of hole, because as we can see, suppose this is a bolt. Here it is given, it is of 16 mm diameter. So if you need to place this bolt in a plate, you need to cut a hole around it or cut a hole in the plate. So what will be the diameter of the hole that is to be exerted from the plate? That will be 18 mm. Now how this value came? For this, pause this video and take your IS codes and move on to page number 73. Pause this video, take your IS code, again IS 800 2007, and move on to page number 73. There you will be dealing with our first case. So here you can see that it is mentioned table 19, clearance of fastener holes. Fastener, that means bolt, and holes, the holes that are to be digged from the plate, how much clearance are to be kept is given in this table. So first case is given 12 to 14. That is the nominal size of fastener or D. That means in this column the diameter of bolts are being prescribed. This will be the diameter. So in the first case it is given 12 to 14, second is 16 to 22, third is 24, and the fourth is larger than 24. In our case it is given as M16 bolts. So we will be using this case, that is 16 to 22. Clear? And here it is given size of hole. That means nominal diameter of bolt plus clearance. That will be the total size of hole. So this nominal diameter of fastener is given in question as 16. So we need to add this clearance to get the final value of hole diameter. And for this clearance value, we will be referring this column, that is column number 3. Clear? Every time we will be in our entire semester, we will be dealing with this column number 3. Other columns are not yet in your syllabus. So it is standard clearance in diameter and width of slot. So for 16 it is prescribed that the clearance to be applied is 2 mm. Clear? So 16 plus 2, that comes out to be 18. So the diameter of hole will be 18. Now regarding nomenclature, the diameter of bolt we will always be referring it to be D. It is not effective dash. We are not dealing with RCC, keep in mind. Clear? Steel is totally different as compared to RCC structures. So here small d will be the diameter of bolt and D0 will be the diameter of hole. So we will be dealing with two diameters. This in this case is 16 and here in this case it is 18 mm. Clear? So how to find the diameter of hole we have seen till now. Now the bolts are in single shear. Now what do you mean by single shear? So for that we will be referring to an example. Take an example of this. Suppose these are two plates that are being given in question. Suppose this is the 12 mm thick plate and this is the 20 mm thick plate. They are being applied a tension or tensile load of 70 is given in question. So assume this load to be 70. So if we stretch or if we apply tension load in this direction, then what will happen? The failure will be something like this. Clear? If we apply the load in opposite direction or in tangent direction, the failure will be something like this. So here you can see that red marking is given here in this figure. So this refers to the shear plane. Clear? Number of shear planes that are being affected due to this tensile force. As you can see, this is our plate 1, this is our plate 2. If we need to overlap it, or if we need to provide a lap joint and to provide a bolt connection in it, how many shear planes will be get affected? Just one, that is being prescribed here. Clear? Only one shear plane will be get affected due to this case. So the bolts will be in single shear. If two shear planes are affected due to this cases, then the answer here would be bolts are in double shear. There are only two possibilities in our semester, that is either the bolts can be in single shear or the bolts can be in double shear. Next sums that we will be dealing with, we will look upon double shear, that how double shear actually acts. In this case the bolts will be in single shear. Here you can refer in the figure that how the shear plane are identified. So in each and every example, the first thing will be to identify the shear plane. It will not be given in the question. If it is given in the question, then well and good. But if it is not given in the question, then you need to assume or visualize that how this actually loading criteria will be acting, and then on basis of that you will be identifying the shear plane. Clear? So in this case shear plane will be 1. So moving further, you will be referring this page for entire bolt connection. So pause this video and move on to page number 75 of your IS code. So on page number 75 you can see here that two equations we will be dealing with. The first 10.3.3, that is here shear capacity of bolt. So the first thing we will be calculating in each and every step of the entire chapter, we will be calculating shear capacity of bolt. The equations are being prescribed. What are these values are also being prescribed. So just we will be substituting these values and we will be calculating the shear capacity of bolt. Next we will be finding the bearing capacity of bolt, that is here 10.3.4. Again the equation is prescribed, and what are these nomenclature, so what are the terms are also being prescribed in the IS code. So we will be dealing with these cases, and the smaller of these two values will be our final answer. Clear? So we will be always calculating two strength or two capacities, that is shear capacity of bolt and bearing capacity of bolt, and the smaller of these two will be our final answer. This will be our entire step while solving this method or while solving our bolted connections, whether it be of lap joint or whether it will be of butt joint. So moving further, the first thing will be to find the shear capacity of bolt. As you can see here, according to clause number 10.3.3, the equation is VDSB equal to VNSB upon gamma MB. And here you can see that VNSB, the equation is given here, that VNSB will be equal to FU by root 3 NN ANB plus NS ASB. This will be the equation that you will be dealing in the 3 to 4 chapters. Clear? So VNSB equal to FU upon root 3 NN ANB plus NS ASB. Now FU will be the ultimate strength of what? Bolt. Keep in mind we are designing bolt, so FU will be placing of bolt, that is in this case 400. Clear? Now looking upon these factors, that is NN. NN is the number of shear planes with threads. Number of shear planes with threads. NS is the number of shear planes without threads or number of shear plane in shank. We will be dealing with two technical terms, that thread and shank, pertaining to our ordinary bolts. ASB will be the area of bolt in shank, and ANB will be the net area of bolt in thread. So how to calculate these cases? For that we'll be referring a diagram. Take a look at this figure. This figure shows the projectile of a bolt. So here the technicalities or technical terms have been mentioned. This portion we will be calling the head of bolt, and this will be our nominal length of bolt. We will not be seeing nominal length in this semester, but the main thing we will be referring is thread and shank. These two cases we will be referring in all the sums that we will be dealing with. So thread means this portion that the bolt or the nut can go up or down. For that portion is called thread zone, and shank will be the plain area. So the plain area of the bolt is called shank, and the threaded region of the bolt is called a thread, which is of spiral shape. Clear? So to find the area, keep in mind in IS code the area is not been mentioned how to calculate the area. So we will be dealing with the two types of area, that is area of shank and area of thread. First we will be looking to area of shank. Clear? As you can see, it is a plain region. So the cross section will be a solid circular object. As you cut it, it will be a solid circular object. So ASB will be equal to pi by 4 d square. ASB will be pi by 4 d square, d being the diameter of bolt. Clear? So the area of shank is simple. Now we'll be looking at to area of thread. As you can see, the thread regions are formed by cutting the steel around it. Clear? It is not generated by placing extra amount of steel around our main diameter. This threaded region is produced by cutting the steel in spiral zone or spiral region. Clear? So the area will be less than the total area. So according to our civil engineering handbook, it is mentioned that the threaded zone, in every threaded zone, whenever you take a cross section area, you will get 78% of the total shear around it. Clear? According to our civil engineering handbook, it is mentioned that whenever you take a cross section area in the threaded region, you will get the 78% of total area around it. So the equation for it will be 0.78 into pi by 4 d square. So in the entire chapter, you can say up to in your entire engineering, you will be using these cases for threaded region. So A and B in every time will be 0.78 into pi by 4 d square. Clear? So this was A and B and ASB. Now number of shear planes. So if the shear plane cuts through this region, there is this threaded region, we will be considering it to be NN. So NN will be considering as 1 if one single shear is given. If the shear plane cuts through this region, it will be NS. Clear? If shear plane cuts through this region, we will be taking it as NS. So NS will be equal to 1. But this NS equal to 1, we will be getting only in one case, that is double cover butt joint. In our 5th sem syllabus, we will be getting NS equal to 1 in only one thing, that will be double cover butt joint. So if in the question it is given that double cover butt joint is asked, then and then only NS equal to 1 will be considered. Otherwise every shear plane will be considering it to be in NN. So if shear plane is 1, that is, in this case we have discussed that it is in single shear, so by default it will be in NN, that is in threaded region. Clear? So here, going back to our sum, NN will be equal to 1 as it is in single shear. FU will be for bolt, that will be 400. P, or you can say the clearance, is 2 mm, so DO will be 18 mm. So we will be substituting everything in this equation, that is NN is 1, A and B that will be pi by 4, 0.78 into pi by 4 into 16 square, that comes out to be 157. So solving this, we get an answer 36.26 kilonewton. So NSB comes out to be 36.26. Now we need to find VDSB. So the equation of VDSB is VNSB upon gamma MB. Now how to find this gamma MB? In steel, it is very easy to find this factor of safeties, as it is prescribed only in one equation or in one table. So pause this video and move on to page number 30 of your IS code. So on page number 30, you will be seeing this table 5, that is partial safety factor for materials, or gamma M, as you can see here. Clear? So the entire So in our entire syllabus, whenever we will be dealing with factor of safeties, we will be looking upon this table. Here it is asked that we are dealing with gamma MB. So we will be looking gamma MB in this case. Here it is mentioned here that under serial number 4, that is resistance of connection, and subclass B, bolts bearing type, that is gamma MB. So the value of gamma MB is 1.25. What is shop fabrication, what is field fabrication, you don't need to understand it now. We will be looking in the next chapter. What is this? Clear? Now just refer to the value pertaining to it. The factor of safety gamma MB is 1.25. Clear? So here our value will be 36.25 divided by 1.25. That comes out to be 29 kilonewton. So our first step is completed, that is to calculate the shear capacity of bolt. That comes out to be 29 kilonewton. Now we'll be moving on to the second step, that is bearing capacity of bolt. So as you can see on your page number 75, clause number 10.3.4, the equation for bearing capacity has been given. It is DPB, clear, design bearing capacity, equal to nominal bearing capacity divided by gamma MB. Again, gamma MB will be the same, that is 1.25. So the first thing will be to calculate VNPB, and for equation or of VNPB it is mentioned below, that is VNPB equal to 2.5 kb dtFu. Clear? The equation will be 2.5 kb dtFu, and for that we will be first referring to find kb. That is, we will be referring or we will be calculating kb using this equation. It is mentioned as kb is smaller of E upon 3DO, comma P upon 3DO minus 0.25 FUB by FU and 1. So every time in every equation we will be solving these 4 cases, and the smaller of this 4 value we will be considering it as to be kb. So what is E and what is P we will be looking upon. DO, that is diameter of hole. In this case diameter of hole is 18 mm. So going to the numerator portion, here it is given as E and here it is given as P. So what is this E and P we will be looking upon. E is the edge distance or end distance that we have discussed earlier, and P is the pitch. So how to calculate it? First we will be looking upon pitch. It is given in the page number 72 of your equation or of your IS code. In clause 10.2.2, minimum spacing is mentioned. So if you see in detail, it is mentioned that the distance between center of fastener and fastener is bolt shall not be less than 2.5 times the nominal diameter of bolt. Keep in mind we are dealing with two things, diameter of bolt and diameter of hole. Here it is not mentioned diameter of bolt, it is in diameter of hole, it is mentioned as diameter of bolt. So the equation will be P equal to 2.5 D. So whenever we will be dealing with pitch or we will need to find pitch, the equation for it will be 2.5 D. Clear? So here diameter of bolt is given, you can calculate it, pitch to be 2.5 D. And the next thing will be needed to find the edge distance, and for that you will need to go to the next page, and for that we will be referring 10.2.4.2, clause number 10.2.4.2. Here it is given that the minimum edge and end distance from the center of any hole to the nearest edge, whether edge will be in any direction, shall not be less than 1.7 times the hole diameter. In case of shredded or cut edges, we will be dealing with only this. The second portion will not be dealing with this in this semester. Clear? So for our semester or this syllabus, our value will be always 1.7 D0. The value of E or the equation of E will always be E equal to 1.7 D0. Why D0? Because it is mentioned as hole diameter. For pitch it was bolt diameter, and for edge it will be hole diameter. So E and P can be calculated using these equations given in this IS code. So the first case, that is E upon 3D is 0, comes out to be 0.55. The second case comes out to be 0.49. The third case, now looking upon third case, 2 FUs are mentioned, and for that, for simplicity, it is mentioned the numerator portion as FUB. That means the numerator part is ultimate strength of bolt, and the denominator part is ultimate strength of plate. So as we know, the strength of bolt is 400 and strength of plate is 410. The equation comes out to be 0.975, and the last is 1. So the smaller of this value will be 0.4 0.49. So our KB will be 0.49. Now moving on to next, we will be calculating D, T and FU. So the equation here becomes VNPB equal to KV, that was 0.49, D, that is diameter of bolt. Here it is given as 16. Now regarding thickness, here in the question two thickness are mentioned, 12 mm and 20 mm. Keep in mind, whenever two different dimensions or two different thickness are mentioned, we will be always checking the smaller or the thinner plate. Here in every equations or in every numerical we'll be solving, we will always be taking it to be the thinner plate. So here thinner plate is 12 mm, so we'll be taking T as 12 mm. FU will be 400, that is of bolt. So the answer comes out to be 94.80, that is VNPB. And we, after solving VNPB, we will be requiring to solve VDPB. So VDPB was VNPB upon gamma MB. Gamma MB will again be 1.25. So solving it, we get an answer 75.26. So now we got two values. The first one was shear capacity of bolt, that was 29 kilonewton, and the second is bearing capacity of bolt, that is 75.26. So our final answer will be the smaller of these two. So the final design strength, or you can say VDB, is always taken as the smaller of VDSB and VDPB. So it is termed as bolt value or strength of bolt. Keep in mind, if it is asking question to find bolt value or to find strength of bolt, then our answer is completed at this point. But if it is asking question as design a lap joint, then we need to identify the number of bolts. These are the two types of equations that, or two types of questions that have been asked in your GDU examination. Okay, so this will be our bolt value or the strength of bolt, which will be the smaller of DPB and VDSB. Okay, so now we'll be finding the number of bolts, and for number of bolts the equation will be total load divided by bolt value. Okay, so total load as in given equation is 70 kilonewton and bolt value we have calculated as 29. The value comes out to be 2.41. That means we minimum require 2.41 amount of bolts to withstand this 70 kilonewton bolt. But as we all know that we can't cut bolt into half or 70% or 41% of total bolt, so we will be taking the higher number, that is providing 3 numbers of bolt, and then it is mandatory to provide the figure at the last. This figure carries 1 mark in your G2 examination. Clear? So how to mention this figure or how to draw this figure? First, mention the two plates that are given in question. The first being 12 mm, second being 20, or you can refer it this to 12 and this to 20. It is of it is all right. Anyway, you can place, and it is compulsory to mention the cross section area and the plan area. So the number of bolts can be seen here as the H portion, and in the plan area it is seen visible as the circle, that is our hole diameter. Clear? So here you can see the load that was given. This was the width that is given in the equation, and in the figure we need to mention the ENP, that is edge distance, and the pitch. So pitch is the distance between two consecutive bolts. So this, the center to center distance will be 40, and this center to this center distance will be again 40, and the remaining these two distance will be our edge distance, that is 30. So this is how you will be sketching or drawing the final figure. Okay, so this was our first example, and to solve the new example, that is our new chapter, this is our example problem, and tomorrow we will be dealing with some more examples regarding bolted connections. Okay, thank you.